You might have noticed that things are a bit different this morning. We have an opportunity this morning to really share some gratitude and some joy and to experience connection in a unique way. Each year, this spiritual community selects representatives to serve as trustees for the Unity Church of the Hills. These trustees, each and every one of them, have responded to a call, a spiritual call, and responded with the words, "Here I am. Here I am. Yes, Lord, use me." They have accepted a sacred trust to live in accordance with Unity principles, to listen deeply to the voice of Spirit, and to serve this community with love and with integrity. Each member of the board brings a unique consciousness that contributes to the essential work of this spiritual team. As a group, they collaborate together, they vision with one another, they plan for Unity Church of the Hills, seeking always to respond to Spirit and to fulfill the mission of this church. They hold the big picture perspective for this spiritual community, maintain open channels of communication, act as good stewards of the finances, and support one another in this sacred work. Last week, this community elected new board members, and yesterday, that new board came together in sacred community. We got to know one another, and we began to build a cohesive team. In that time together, we created this altar. On this altar are objects that are sacred to each member of this team, and their energies will remain here at this church, coalescing even as the hearts and minds of each board member come together. So, I'm going to invite your board president, Tim Wright, to come forward and to introduce your board of trustees.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Reverend
you.
Cynthia, who is also a member, though unelected, of our board. Thank you for all you are.
Thank you.
Let me just ask the board members to get up and come up here, and if you're here, it's easier for me to remember your names if I can see you. I'm delighted to have all of them on the board, honored to have all of them on the board. I spoke at the PATH class a couple of weeks ago and to talk about the board, the year of the board and stuff like that, and I began by saying that being president of the board was the third most exciting thing that has happened to me at Unity Church of the Hills. I was surprised that no one asked what the first two things were that excited me. One was discovering Unity and Unity Church of the Hills. The second was becoming a prayer chaplain. The third was being president of the board. The fourth is getting to be president of the board for another year with a brand new board. You are wonderful. Let me introduce to you the members of the board. First of all, in order of those who are returning members of the board, Neil Feiereisel, Laura McIntyre, Greg Sedlock, and myself. Let me also introduce to you those members of the board who are newly elected. Greg Sedlock, and Joni Lorraine, and Courtney Pooh. Dan Stasek, not Stasiak, Stasek, he told us that, remember? And then let me introduce to you the officers of the board. I'm blessed to have Neil Feiereisel as vice president for the second year, keeping me in line. I say that with total sincerity. He really does. And I admire and honor and respect him for the way in which he does that, especially the gentleness with which he does that. Courtney Pooh will be our secretary. And I want to take a moment to offer special thanks to Laura, who was secretary and shared that responsibility with Sylvia Powell. And Greg is our new treasurer. It's appropriate that he's the tallest person on the board as treasurer. Yeah, I've measured. I know. It will be a pleasure for us to serve you. It is a pleasure for me to work with them and for you to be part of us as well. Thank you all.